Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Maria Kafetzis, luxury real estate broker with Douglas Elliman Real Estate, both New York and Florida. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Today I'm going to speak to you about a subject that's a little touchy for us agents. It's when is it time to break up with your agent? When is it time to fire your agent? I get a lot of calls from disappointed sellers mostly, and very frustrated buyers secondly. So sellers, when is it time to let go of your agent? You should know within the first 30 days how that's going, how they are advertising and marketing your property. Did they take professional photos? Did they do a video? If you have a luxury home, it should come with a video. Did they properly market the listing? Is the description professional? Does it include all the things that you were supposed to have? How does it sound online? Look your listing up online. Just put in your address and the listing, the different listings should come up. And really analyze, their work in the first 30 days. Secondly, are they communicative? Are they giving you status reports weekly? I mean, I like to reach my clients weekly, but some people don't like to do that. They like to do that once every other week or every couple of weeks. Now, if 2 weeks go by and you haven't heard from your agent, that's pretty bad, because that means that A, you haven't gotten any phone calls on the property, B, there hasn't been any showings, and C, there's absolutely no offers. So we have a problem. That's a big deal. Are you getting calls on your listing? What can you do to spruce up the listing? Are they recommending things that you need to do? What else? Are they communicating? There's a lot of views online. Look at your Zillow page, the owner view. Check out the views. Check out where you rank. If you look at my listings, all my listings rank always between 1 and 5. So meaning I usually get first position on all my listings. And that's because of the amount of clicks that you get per listing. So if your listing is getting a lot of action and your agent's doing the right job in cross-marketing it on different websites, on Facebook, on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not a Twitter fan. I think Twitter is pretty silly for real estate, but people use it, and it doesn't matter what they use as long as they're getting the word out there and you're getting action on your listing. If you're not getting showings, even if you are getting showings, first of all, at first listing, there should be an open house. I know some people frown upon open houses, both sellers and agents alike, because sellers don't like them because they never like anybody in their home. And the agents don't like it because it's way too much work and it costs too much money to advertise an open house the correct way. Both lame excuses. I have literally sold 80% of my listings, maybe 70% of my listings through open houses. Because of the way I advertise it, people walk in, and once I make that personal connection with a buyer and they love the neighborhood and the home is beautiful, chances are it's going to click right there. And they see also other interested buyers that come in. And if you drive the right traffic to your listing, they will feel the competition, trust me, because I drive a lot of traffic, and sometimes I have lines outside of my open houses because, I can't have so many people in the house at the same time. And I will do another separate video on open houses, on how effective they are and the whole 9 yards, but I will save that for another day. So open houses are extremely effective. Now, you can have an open house twice a weekend, meaning Saturday and Sunday. That is ridiculous. That's actually going to deter your sale. It's not just having the open house or doing a task, it's how you do it, how you present it. If you're doing an open house Saturday and Sunday, it's bringing down your value of your home. If you're doing an open house for 5 hours, forget about it. You might as well not do them. The open house should be between 1 and 2 hours, no more than 2 hours. If you have a luxury home that takes, and the only excuse is if you have a luxury home with more than 2,000 square feet. Because if you're showing 3,000 square feet, that showing is taking about 15 to 20 minutes per showing. If you're only allowing, like I do, one family at a time, then that can take a really long time. So you could do a 2.5 hour open house for a luxury, but it should not be anything more than 2 hours. If an agent is kicking you out of your home for 5 hours, that's a really bad sign. They're just trying to get buyers. They're not trying to get I'm sorry, they're trying to get buyers for themselves. They're not trying to sell your home. That's what I meant to say. So another thing that you have to keep in mind with open houses is that you want to really target the audience that's coming into your home. You don't want an agent that's putting 30,000 signs outside. And again, this will be on the open house video, but you don't want an agent that's putting 30,000 signs outside and maybe, it's just posted on MLS that there's an open house, because you're getting people that maybe can't afford your house, that don't like the taxes in your house, that don't like the space in your house, that don't like that you don't have hardwood floors and you have tile flooring, whatever the case may be. So it's very important that it's a targeted open house audience. If you've ever been my homeowner, you will notice I only put a sign in front of your home. It's a directional, a courtesy sign almost, to let them know that it's there. If I'm doing an open house like on the North Shore of Long Island where we have a lot of private roads, then yeah, I'll use some more directional signs because it's almost impossible to find it and the GPS doesn't pick up these roads. But if this is a normal place, you don't need open house signs. You don't want people walking off the street that are just bored and nothing to do. You want to target your audience, and you want every buyer that's walking in there to know your taxes are $30,000. You want every buyer to walk in there and know that your home is listed at 1.2. You don't want a buyer coming in that's looking for a $650,000 home to your 1.2. A, it's wasting the time of your agent from really dedicating the time to a buyer that could be really buying. And B, you have a bunch of nosy people that know everything that's in your home. Not really ideal. So it's not in your benefit for the agent to go around with 30,000 signs and 50 million balloons. It's old school thinking, and that was pre-internet, and it kills me when I see a million signs going to an open house sometimes. I'm like, what is she thinking, or what is he thinking? But that's a big key thing. Now, if you are seeing signs of these little things that are happening in the beginning of your listing, you have to address this within 30 days, guys. Do not wait to expire. Do not wait for the listing term to be out. You can most certainly get out of it. So call them. Address it. Make sure you put it in a text. Make sure you put it in an email. Make sure it's in writing, in other words. Address the situation and address everything. Address what's going on, what you're unhappy about. They didn't do professional photos, and your photos were taken from an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever, and the photos are blurry. You don't see any advertising online. Address all these things line item by line item to an email to your realtor, and see how they react, and see how they correct it, and see if they are very apologetic or if they get defensive. If they get defensive, they know they're doing something wrong. If they're extremely apologetic that you're feeling this way, and they try to explain to you what they are doing, they might be doing something and you just might not be seeing the action. So give them an opportunity, in other words. Within 30 days, address the issue. If you don't see correction, you need to get out of the contract, my friends. Do not stay in a contract that is getting you absolutely nowhere. This is your home. You have the right to have it represented the way it deserves, and the agent that gets that listing should deserve the listing. So those are the key things. If you are a buyer and you are frustrated with your agent, same thing applies. If you're in a buyer brokerage agreement, for whatever reason you signed it, get out of it. You can get out of it. If you read your agreement, there are certain things that we are responsible to do in our listing contracts, in a buyer brokerage agreement. And if the agent's not doing it for you, then why stay? There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of other agents out there that are very anxious and very enthusiastic for your business. So if you're a buyer, what do you look for? You look for somebody who's unresponsive. You look for somebody that says, I can't get to you. You look for somebody that doesn't have time to take you out to show you homes, right? Now, if you call your agent on a Friday night and you want to go out on a Saturday morning, forget about it. That's ridiculous. None of us can do that. But if you call them on a Monday and you say, hey, I think we should go out this weekend and look at some properties, and they say, I can't, that's a problem. Break up with your agent. If they're not making weekly appointments for you, if you're available every Thursday afternoon and they are not available on Thursdays, break up with your agent. They have to, when you work with me, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you would think I have no other clients. Other than the fact that I'm busy and I'm on the phone a lot, and if you call me, you don't always get me on the phone. But other than that, you would think the amount of dedication that I put to each and every one of my clients, that I have no one else, because that's how I make my clients feel. So a buyer, a seller, neither of you should ever feel that you are not as important as another person's, as your agent's other clients. That is really unacceptable. And another reason why you should is if you're not getting properties. If they say, listen, look on Zillow.com or look on, the internet, and if you find a property you like, send it to me. No. You send them properties. Your agent, if you're a buyer, your agent should be sending you properties that are of interest to you. Now, if you take a break, you have to let them know, hey, I've decided I want to start looking again, so they can start looking for you again. If you, are sending them properties, that's okay. Hey, I saw this property that I like, but that should not be the only thing that's happening. Your agent should be sending you listings weekly, every couple of days, really, if you are actively and eagerly looking for a home. So these are some of the reasons to break up with them. And if for some reason, and I hate to say this because I am a realtor, but if for some reason, they're not performing these things and you feel really frustrated and they won't release you from contract, call their board. If it's a Long Island realtor, call Long Island Board of Realtors and report the situation. If their manager won't do anything and they won't release you out of this contract, report it. If you're in Miami, call Miami Realtors and report it and say, hey, this agent listed my property. I have gotten absolutely no action. They will not call me back. They are not responsive. I've addressed the issues that are wrong and they won't release me out of my contract. These are all things that, you can absolutely do. Additionally, when you get withdrawn from the MLS, meaning you are being withdrawn from the MLS, they're breaking their contract for you, with you, you have to get a withdrawal, but you also have to get an unconditional release, guys. Please, a lot of homeowners of mine have not gotten those, and then I get involved and I say, well, can I see the withdrawal agreement? And when I see it, I realize that they're not released from responsibility. The listing was simply withdrawn. If this listing is simply withdrawn and your contract doesn't expire for another 2 or 3 months, and I'll go into a contract video one of these days, but if your contract doesn't expire for 2 to 3 months with them, then you still owe them a commission no matter who sells it. That's what your contract actually says. All our MLS contracts are drafted the same way. Remember, we use one standard form all across the board. So if I'm in Long Island, New York, Queens, if I'm Florida, anywhere in Florida, I use the same MLS agreement because it's pretty much the same everywhere across the board. It's done by a National Association of Realtors. And we brand it to the companies, but the information and the wording is all the same. We have to use it. So, in there, you'll see what it says. And I just don't believe that any homeowner should be in a contract with someone that doesn't deserve the business. So if you are looking to sell, if you had your house listed or your condo listed and you've been frustrated, I want to provide you with a different experience. Please call me. That's why this video is a little longer, because I felt like I really had to go into this stuff. So with that, I will wrap up. And again, Maria Kafetzis, Douglas Elliman Real Estate, luxury real estate broker servicing both New York and Florida, Southeast Florida. And my telephone number, 516-885-2525. My other telephone number, 305-773-5994. You can call, text any of those 2 numbers, or you can email me at rightrealtor4you@gmail.com. That's RIGHTREALTOR4u@gmail.com. And the Right Realtor For You spelled the same way. You can follow me on Instagram at Right Realtor For You, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Right Realtor For You. I look forward, guys, to hearing from you. And I know this was a very long video, but I'm happy you stuck around and watched it. And I look forward to hopefully hearing from you and servicing all your real estate needs in the future. Thank you.